Hey y'all, welcome to the Ratchet Davo YouTube channel, and today we're doing the Rust-Oleum bed liner kit on my Ram 1500, which is right in the driveway. If you missed my last Rust-Oleum do-it-yourself video, I did the epoxy floor on my garage floor, which I'm standing on right now, and you can watch that video. Links are down in the description, and it's probably somewhere up here in the video. But as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment for me. In the meantime, enjoy the video. All right, y'all, and here we have it. This is the box it came on. I actually ordered it off Amazon. I believe it was in between 80 and 90 bucks, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so it came in another box, which I've already taken off of it. But on the top, it already gives the 3 easy steps. So it says, you prepare your surface, mask it with tape, and apply the coating. It says it's as easy as that. So it looks like we're just gonna open it up and see what we got inside. All right, so right off the top here, I was thinking I was gonna have to buy a roller for myself, but they actually give you a roller here. It's a very coarse, almost like Scotch Brite feel to it, but if you know anything about the bed liner stuff, it's pretty rigorous. So they give you a mini roller and that, which I assume is everything you need just for one quick little coating here. We'll set this on the counter over here. The next thing they give you is a brush. I'm sure this is for like the etching and the trimming that you're gonna do around the edges. So they give you a sanding block as well for the materials. Now what I assume with this is that it's for the truck surfaces that are really bad. Now my truck is relatively new, so I'm assuming I'm gonna have to do minimal sanding on it. We'll set that on the counter over here. And the last thing is the actual bed liner stuff itself. It looks very similar to the same bags that the epoxy floor came on. We'll set that out of the way. On top of that, they give me 2 gloves. I don't know what size they are. Bed liner to the truck bed itself. It gives you instructions to do the sides first. Obviously don't do the part you're gonna stand on. Second, do the actual bed, and then finish it off as you move your way out into the tailgate area. All right, so step 1 is gonna be to clean and degrease the bed of the truck. You don't want any dirt, any materials left stuck to the bed of the truck. Anything like that could cause some issues when you're actually applying the bed liner. What I decided to use, as you can see, it looks pretty clean, but what I decided to use, don't use like a wash and wax. You actually want to use something like a dish soap with a degreaser in it, and the reason being is you don't want that surface to have any wax or to be slick, because the bed liner will not adhere to the surfaces. So make sure you use something that has a degreaser. Alright, step 2 is kind of a painful one because you're actually going to be using a sanding block on, if you're like me, you have a decent looking truck bed, but what you want to do is hit every surface with that sanding block, and so that there's no clear coat or any smooth surface left. This will help the bed liner adhere to the truck much better. When you're done, it should look something like this, where you can see kind of the white of the clear coat coming up, and the whole truck bed will be covered. It can be a tedious process to get the whole bed covered, but you definitely want to make sure you do it. It's all in the prep work. Step 3 is going to be a wash and then a dry of the surfaces. What I did is I just took a microfiber towel after I washed it down and actually physically went through and went over the surface to make sure there was no residue left over from the clear coat that I just sanded. Once you've done that, you're actually going to be ready to, I did my truck inside, you'll be ready to your truck inside. You can do it outside, but just for fear of any sort of materials getting on the bed liner as I was applying it, I didn't. So, but here it is, all dry and ready to go. It is ready for bed liner. Make sure it's completely dry before you begin. Step 4 is going to be to mask off any surfaces that you don't want covered with the bed liner. So I did in between the actual bed and the tailgate, and then I actually did at the top of the very front of the bed near the back windshield. That top surface I didn't want covered in bed liner. So I did those two places with the masking tape, and that is really all I needed to do. Step 5 is pretty easy. Mix the materials. It's in two separate bags, the actual bed liner and the hardening portion of the bed liner kit. Make sure you take a few minutes to just mix those materials together. The bed liner is a really thick material. You want to make sure that those materials get mixed together, so take maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Step 6, pretty easy. What you want to do is take that paintbrush, like I'm doing there, and actually all the surfaces that can't be reached by a roller, what you're going to do, and I wanted to make sure I got up close with this, you want to dab that brush. You're not going to brush with the paintbrush. You're actually going to dab to create kind of that textured look that the bed liner gives. So make sure you do that. Final step, 7th step, is apply the bed liner. So what you're going to see me do first is on the edges, go through and dab that paintbrush and get material all over the bed of the truck in the areas in which I think will not be hit with the roller. And honestly, as I was doing this, being it my first time, I found that there were a lot more surfaces that needed to be edged with that paintbrush than I'd realized, but it's no problem. As you're rolling, what you'll see is spots that you can't get with the roller. Just go back through with the brush and dab that material in and it'll be fine. But I just started with that first side, and then as you're getting done with that side, you go to the back side and you work your way around in a circle. It's very time consuming having to stop and use the brush, and the material is very thick, but you also don't want it running down on the side, so you'll see me go over the same surface multiple times to try to get like a tighter textured look and not something that's dripping down. So don't be afraid to just take your time, roll as much as you need to, and just make sure the sides are done completely. Go through with a flashlight, make sure that you can't see any shiny surfaces from the base coat of the truck bed. So what I'm going through is trying to be thorough. I'm also doing the wheel wells at this time and getting all the side surfaces done before I begin the bottom surface. It's honestly not very difficult to do, but it is time consuming. I would say the overall project from beginning to end went over 3 hours long. When you get to the bottom surface, don't be afraid to lay on the material really thick. Those are the surfaces that are going to need the most bed liner, because those are the surfaces that are going to see equipment and tools and anything else that you're going to throw at it. So I went really thick. I realized that I had a lot of material left by the time I got to the bottom of the bed, and so I decided I really laid it on really thick. Pretty much as much material could get on the roller every time as possible is what I did, and it created a really nice finish on the truck. That's it. You'll do the tailgate right after that. My camera died right as I was turning towards the tailgate here, but this is kind of the finished look. This is the next day, so the material is hardened but not completely dry or ready for use.
So just let it sit for 3 or 4 days without anything on it, and that material should be ready to go.